it's your girl, Queen Shan Shan, and we are back with a brand new episode. And I have my really good friend, Dustin Ripkens. Say hi, Dustin.
What's up, everyone? I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, we're here for the new episode. And I just want to say thank you again for your constant support of our show. We had a good showing with Devin. Devin, I don't think you've ever met my friend Devin. He's been with my show since day one when we started in my apartment.
Amazing.
Yeah, 6 years ago. And so when I have a new season, I always have him as my premier guest because he loves to spill the tea and we love to like joke around and everything. So he's a good friend of mine. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching and listening to that show. Don't forget, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Spotify, we're on Google, and we're on Amazon and other podcast platforms. So don't forget to listen to those, and also YouTube. All of our episodes are on YouTube if you want to sit and watch us be silly face to face. Absolutely. So we're going to get going. We're going to have you guys listen to our brand new sponsors. Simeon, take it away, and we'll be right back. Woo! I just came from Napoli Naturals Apothecary, and I got a great haul today.
Girl, tell me what's in that big bag.
Well, you know I just went on vacation, and unfortunately I got a skin rash. So I bought some extra soaps, some skin oils, and also this wonderful shea butter that helps with the itch.
Well, I know a thing or two about rashes and itches.
Well, we will talk about that later. In the meantime, Napoli Naturals and Apothecary is located centrally in Los Angeles. It is a family-owned brand, and they have everything you need to take care of your health. And get this, they're using Queen Shan Shan for 15% off. So if you want to go to Napoli Naturals and Apothecary, you can go into the store and use code Queen Shan Shan, or go on their website, napolinaturals.com, and order anything you want. And remember, tell them Queen Shan Shan sent ya. Hunty!
Hey, Queen Shan Shan, how are you?
Hey, Coach HT. I am picking up some groceries for the week, girl. What about you?
Yes, I am with you. I'm just making sure I get my fresh produce. I saw that you just got back from France. How was it?
Mi amor. France was fabulous. The food, the wineries, and of course, lots of shopping. But you know what? After those long flights, I am in so much pain and discomfort. My shoulders, my back, my hips are just so tight, and I'm also going through some major jet lag.
I know how it is. Those international flights are the worst. Everything hurts. But Queen Shan Shan, I must tell you, I created an easy on-the-go mobility program for those who like to catch flights, not feelings. I call it the Fit Travel Kit.
100%. How do I get access to those tips right now? Spill the tea.
The tea can be found on my app. Write this down. It's at app.thefitgym, that's PHYT.com.
Au revoir. Oh, Devin.
What's the matter?
I have a toothache and I don't like going to the dentist. I'm so scared of dental chairs and dentists and needles, but I gotta take care of this pain.
No. Say no more. I know the perfect place for you. It's called Exquisite Dentistry. Dr. Agil is his name. And they actually specialize in dental chickens, meaning like people that are scared to go to the dentist because they're so gentle. And they will calm your nerves, girl.
I'm just really scared about dentists. What other services do they offer?
This place offers a spa-like experience from the second that you walk in.
Well, I see on their website they offer soft lighting, warm blankets, noise-canceling headphones, and aromatherapy. Wow, I need to make an appointment today.
Absolutely. It's basically first class.
Well, I'm going to give them a call today and look at their website at exquisitedentistryla.com.
And don't forget to mention Queen Shan Shan sent you.
Hunty. Thank you, sponsors. We really appreciate Napoli Naturals and hit Coach HT's Fitness, and also our other new our other new sponsor, Drea, Shop Drea. So thank you guys for being a sponsor for A Broadcast Podcast. We really appreciate that. So, Mr. Dustin, welcome to A Broadcast Podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm super excited being here and honored
Yay!
being here. I'm doing very, very good. And
I'm so glad you. I literally, when I slipped in his DMs. Now I've known him for a while, but I slipped in his DMs. What 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and I said, you know what, Dustin, I really think you should be in my show. And the reason, not because you're just a beautiful, gorgeous young man. I mean, look at this man. My
thank you.
goodness, good, gorgeous. He's a very good friend of his husband is a very good friend of mine, Arnell Carvalho. And if you guys remember when we were just doing the audio podcast years ago, Arnell was our guest on our first season,
Yep, that's
which was
correct.
in 2019. And this is when he was single and dating. We didn't know who Dustin Ripkens was at this time. And Dr. Arnell was talking about his dance and his dance teams. He's also a doctor and all this stuff. And look what he manifested in meeting you, right? Because you guys met on a dance troupe or something like that. How did you meet Arnell?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for having me. I'm
Yes.
super honored, and thank you for being such a supporter. Not just to Arnell and I, but also the queer community. So we appreciate you.
You're welcome. Always an ally.
Yes, and I love seeing you hustling and putting this together. So thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, Arnell and I, we got together through a dance project.
Yes.
So you're totally correct. And, I know we all love Janet Jackson, and it was through a project that one of the choreographers, Anthony Thomas, who used to choreograph Rhythm Nation and that album for Janet Jackson back in the 80s, put together. So I was dancing for him, and Arnell was working on the back end, helping him with everything and anything social media and directing and producing the showcase that he put together, Anthony Thomas. So, Arnell came in and out of rehearsals while I was rehearsing, and, he has the most beautiful smile.
Yes, he does.
So I was just like, who is
Who
this?
is
What's
this?
this cute little smile? And so after the project wrapped, we decided to hang out. And it was really not a date. It was just like,
Let's have a cup of coffee.
yeah, let's hang
or-
out and
yeah.
just have a conversation and see if we want to be friends or whatever. And
Okay.
it quickly turned into a
So
date.
you pursued Arnell.
I think
was
it was
it
very
mutual?
mutual.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's very outgoing, I'm very outgoing, and during rehearsals and then backstage during the show and stuff, we passed each other, and therefore we just chatted and said, hey, let's hang out.
I remember him telling me, he's like, Shannon, one of the conversations with us, like, I kind of met somebody. I'm like, what? Because we all been on the dating scene for a long time. And I was like, so who's? He's like, his name is Dustin, and I met him at this dance thing. And like, what? He's like, yeah, we're just friends right now. We're just friends. I'm like, okay, well, that's right on. But that's how things start, right?
Yeah.
And then a few months later, he's like, I really like him. I really like him. I'm like, okay, right
Yeah.
on. And then progressed, and then
Now we're married.
and now you're married. And you guys got married. It'll be 2 years this year, right?
Yes, in June it's gonna be
Amazing.
2 years. Yeah. Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Passes by so fast.
Congratulations. They got married in Germany, in your hometown. We'll talk about that in a minute. But because they have a huge friend group and family group, they decided, the core wedding was in Germany, and only they had a small destination wedding in Germany. But because their core family and dance family out here is in the hundreds, I can't imagine bringing everybody to Germany, right? That's not feasible. So what they did a few months after they got married is that they had this amazing dance wedding celebration party in Pasadena, South
Correct.
Pasadena, at the studio. And everybody was dressed to the nines, honey, dressed to the nines. And here comes Dustin and Arnell down the stairs. First of all, there's this barrage, and I gotta give Simeon some pictures so that people can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, yes.
Here's this barrage of family on both sides coming down, and they're down the stairs dressed to the nines. And here comes Arnell and Dustin in their tuxedos down the street, and they come out dancing in an amazing routine. And you're like, what? Because that's how you guys met.
Exactly.
It was like a full circle moment. This is how we met, y'all. Dancing, our true love of passion and working out and fitness and all this stuff. and it was absolutely fabulous. It was a
Thank you.
wonderful night. It was catered, wine, alcohol, all kinds of food. So thank you for doing that for us. We were dancing the whole night long.
Oh, thanks for everyone showing up. That was
Yes.
really, for us too. Celebrating our love, celebrating our community, and yes, a lot of dances were there, and we're from the dance industry, right? So a lot of dance happened during the
Yes,
night.
it did.
But also, anyone and everyone who is in our life who is not a dancer, right? Like just people who support, who we love, our friends, family, and it was such a beautiful
Yeah.
celebration. And we did it at Elements Dance
That's it. That's the
in
place in
Pasadena. So
Pasadena.
if you're in LA and you have kids and they want to dance, go to Elements
Hmm.
in Pasadena. But yeah,
They had a dance off. They had a dance battle, y'all. And Simeon can appreciate this. Simeon is a dancer too. He does crump
oh
dancing.
wow,
So he does he
amazing.
does competitions as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
And so
incredible.
he can understand they were actually doing a dance competition between Arnell and Dustin, and it was like, what? I was screaming the whole night because I had no voice the next day. And I was like, I can't believe this is a wedding celebration and they're actually competing against each other. That was such a great surprise.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. It was such great choreography.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's go back. You are from Germany. What part of Germany are you from?
Yeah, so I am from Germany, born and raised. Western Germany. I keep punching the microphone. Western Germany, near Cologne, if anyone is familiar with Cologne. So it's close to the Netherlands. And yeah, I was born and raised there until I was 19. So I
Okay.
finished school and then I moved to the UK to study dance because I love dance and I wanted to become a dancer. So yeah.
Why the UK versus Paris, or why not stay in Germany for the learning of dance?
Totally, yeah. Yeah, so I grew up dancing. I had my own dance group in Germany. And I also did ballet because that's
Wow.
what people said. Or, teachers like, hey, if you want to be a real dancer, you need to learn ballet and contemporary dance. So I started this in a pretty older age, like for ballet dancer. I was like 15, 16, I started. And then my ballet teacher, she's actually from the UK. She lives in Germany. She had a lot of contacts. And she said, you know what? We have schools here in Germany to be a dancer, but the education is just not as good. So go to
Mm.
the UK. There are a lot of, so in the UK, they have proper colleges just for dance. So she said the quality of the teachers and the education is just much better.
Okay.
And there's much more dance in London and in England and the UK overall.
Okay.
So therefore, then I, while I finished high school, traveled several times to the UK. I stayed there for weeks and trained. I made connections. I went to auditions for those colleges, and then luckily got in to several, and I was able to pick one, and then I chose the college I wanted to go to. And then in 2009, I went to England, and the college actually is called Performers College. So it was all about dance and musical theater, acting, singing.
Fun.
So I spent 3 years
Fun.
there to train as mainly a dancer. I wouldn't say I'm a great actor or singer. I wish I was, but mostly as a dancer. So.
Okay, great. And then after that, what happened?
Yeah, so while I was there, I thought, like I'm gonna work in Europe as a dancer. I always wanted to work in Germany too because there's great dance and artists and all of that kind of stuff. But in my first year, or during my first year, a friend of mine who also was from Germany, she said, "Hey, I really have the dream of going to America after." And I don't know why, but somehow it stuck with me, and I was like, "Okay, we go together." And then one thing happens after another. I'm a big believer in manifesting what I
Correct.
want,
Correct.
even if I'm maybe not as aware of. But things just happen if I manifest it. I'm a very good manifester. So things just fell into place where I said, you know what, I'm moving to LA. I've never been to LA.
Never.
Never been to LA.
Wow.
But that's what, people say where the most dances, especially when it comes to
Or
like
New York.
commercial dance and stuff. New York is great too, mostly like Broadway theater and
Right.
all. I mean, New York has so much to offer too, right? A lot of film and commercial and stuff. But really, like, I would say New York, a lot of Broadway, contemporary dance and stuff. LA tours, commercials, and all of
True.
that.
Yeah.
And because I'm not a singer, I was like, I don't know if New York is right for me. And also, I don't know, like people were just always talking about LA from where I got my information from, and I was, to be honest, totally clueless. So I was like, okay, LA it is. So I put my mind to LA. During my second and third year, I visited LA a few times and then made it happen.
And you came to Long Beach, or where in LA were you living exactly? Started.
Yeah, so when I moved out here, so first I worked actually in Branson, Missouri for 3 months.
Oh, the Branson,
Branson,
because they're
Missouri.
known for their casinos and their a lot of gambling. What's the big tourist attraction over there?
Yeah, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but what I would say is Branson is Vegas for
The South
seniors
is okay for the
and
seasoned
families
friends.
and families.
So it's very family oriented and
Yes.
senior oriented.
Yeah, and which is fantastic, right? But there's a lot of theaters
Oh,
and shows out there.
I've never been to Branson,
Um,
Missouri.
oh, okay. Yeah, like it's a little bit like Vegas. There's a whole strip of like a lot of theaters and stuff.
Okay.
But it's not like a Britney Spears or J Lo show. But like I was there and we did a tribute to the Four Seasons,
Okay.
Frankie Valli, and we did a
Oh,
Christmas show.
okay.
So it was really fun, really great,
Mm-hmm.
great shows.
Good opportunity, good learning,
Yeah.
training.
So I was there for 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you
Because
speak English?
yeah.
So you spoke English before you even got here.
Yeah, I mean, I learned English at school and then I lived in the UK for 3 years. So then I got a little better.
Got
And
it.
then, I was here. So I was on a visa here first. My director, actually, from that college brought me out here for that job. And during that time, I made the connections to get my visa in place because, you can't just move here and be
Right.
like, I'm staying. Like, sure, I could come on a tourist visa, but that would last me 3 months.
3 months,
I wouldn't
and you
be
have to go
able to make
back.
any money and then I have to go back, right?
Right. So you were here for a year and you got a visa. You did everything legally.
Yeah, so I was here for 3 months first for that gig in Missouri. Got a working permit for that time. During that time, I made connections so I could apply for an O1 artist visa,
Okay.
which would then offer me to stay here for 3 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I had to
That's
go back
wonderful.
to Germany for a few months while the visa process was happening.
Okay.
And then luckily everything fell into place. I hired a lawyer and, did all the things. That's a whole nother topic.
That's
We
a
could
whole
spend
nother
a whole
topic.
nother podcast on.
Right.
And then, April 13th, funny enough, on my husband's 40th birthday.
That's right.
I didn't know at the time, but now we're piecing things together. On my husband's 40th birthday, I moved to LA.
Get out of here, because that's when I was at Arnell's party on his 40th, which was Arnell knows how to party, honey. He knows how to.
Yes,
He
I've
knows
seen
how
pictures.
to. Honey, that 40th birthday party was the bomb. It was really fun. And that's when you moved here. Isn't that interesting how the universe works?
I know. Yeah, totally crazy. And
Totally crazy.
so I moved out here. I lived first in Carson for a hot minute, and then I lived always in the Valley because this is really where the dance scene
Close to the studios as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
rehearsals,
Right.
classes,
Right.
all of that kind of stuff.
Right,
My
right.
friends lived out there. I personally love the Valley too.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
lived there before I moved in with my husband in 2020,
2020 during COVID.
right before COVID, actually.
That's so. When you guys were moving in together, this is when we couldn't go anywhere and do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and we were confined. And so COVID broke relationships, but it also grew relationships. Do you feel because we couldn't see each other and see our friends, and we had to be very careful? And he's a doctor and he deals with children. He really had to be careful. Do you feel that because of that situation that your relationship just grew tremendously more because you had to just stay? You really couldn't go out in jobs at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for both of us, it was like the perfect situation.
Yeah.
Because we had each other, and COVID was very rough, and a lot of people were lonely, and like as you said, and we couldn't see each other. Like sure, there are a lot of Zooms happening, but that's not the same.
That's not the same.
So at least we had each other. If we would have lived on two ends of the city, that'd be really tough.
Yes, it would be.
Yeah, so I moved in. We spent a lot of time together. We were
Got to know
also
each other
still
really
like
well.
working, figuring out work. Also like figuring out our new home.
Right.
I mean, it was his home, but I
Yes.
moved in, so
Right.
like we made it our home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we definitely
And
grew
Arnell's very
stronger.
social. He's
Very
incredible.
social.
Honey, Arnell is out and about all the time. I don't know how he gets his energy. And me and Arnell, we're both Aries, so we have with if you believe in this, the astrology thing, but I know with Aries, we're extroverts, we're very passionate, we're generous, and Arnell's incredibly generous with his time and his love and his heart and his family,
Yes.
and just a very kind individual. So no wonder what you guys are together because you're the same.
Thank
You're
you.
the same. You're incredibly generous, and you just the way that you look at your husband is like it's wonderful. It's magic. So I'm so glad you guys are together. So let's talk about the integration from your dance world,
Hmm.
your dance life, into your fitness,
Sure.
and how has that bridged. And we're going to talk about his ideal client, and it's a very unusual. I shouldn't say unusual. It's a very
Niche.
it's very niche. It's a very niche way of approaching clients. So, how did you get from going from dance instructor, dancer to the fitness world?
Totally. Yeah, it's a great question. And I kind of need to go back all the way to like when I was 15, 16 in
Okay.
Germany because I danced, as we already established, and then I started teaching younger ones. So when I was 15, 16, I taught other kids who were like 11, 12 dance. And at that location where I was teaching, they also offered fitness classes. So there was one time the fitness teacher or instructor was like, "Hey, I can't teach. Can you teach my class?" And at that time, I was 15 or 16. I have never really done like I've taken her class a few times, but I wasn't educated in fitness. I did.
You just said, "Hey, do this, do
And
this."
then I taught a class, and it was like the worst class you've ever could take because that was prior to like Spotify and having music. I had CDs, and I had a track here and a track on the other
Oh
CD
shoot!
and a track on because I never taught a fitness class before. Didn't have time to,
To edit or
edit and
do and yeah.
in 20 when was that? Like 2007 or so. It wasn't like, oh, let me put a playlist together real fast. It's like, no, we need to like burn a CD, right? Like
Wow.
with the tracks. So just imagine you're in the middle of a plank and the teacher's like, let me change the CD really fast because this track number 8 is what I want to listen to now. So it was horrible, but it opened up the door to fitness to me. And then I started, because I had the background of dance, starting to teach all the aerobics, step aerobics, regular aerobics, dance fitness, start a little bit more of like strengthening to the beat and all of that kind of stuff. So I taught it all over my little city where I was from, at the different locations. And then I went to dance college. At dance, I kind of left fitness
Okay.
behind. But when I moved out here, I didn't have a job, right? I
Right.
came with 2 luggages. I'm like, I'm here. Let me figure this out.
I got to get a job.
Yeah, so I went to fitness because that's what I knew, and I knew that's something I could have that's ongoing. So I started becoming a bar instructor because that's where I got a spot right away. So I got trained as a bar instructor.
Barre.
Hmm.
Right. That's with the bar and actually the ballet moves, but incorporated with core.
Yeah.
It's hardcore workout.
Yeah, it's like ballet with
Yeah.
like a little bit of Pilates, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of fitness, all fused together. So I started teaching this, and while I was auditioning and dancing and all, and then it expanded more and more into other styles of fitness, from boot camp to dance to trampoline and all of those
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff, right? So I expanded. So I always did fit in my 20s. I always taught fitness along the way my dance career because this is where the money came in during the like in between of gigs, right?
Okay.
Because with dance, yes, you can have, maybe you're on a tour or whatever and you have a gig for a year or 6 months, but otherwise you maybe have a music video here or a performance there or
Right.
whatever, right? So it's very
Very
unstable.
inconsistent. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
inconsistent.
So that's why I did group fitness all my life. I loved it. I did it during COVID, even at home. But then it's really when I burned out because I've done it for
Mm-hmm.
like 15 plus years, teaching in front of a screen, 10, 15 classes a week, and
Wow.
was like on my carpet. And I'm like, I'm just over it.
Yes.
So more and more, even prior, even I started more personal training.
Okay.
So even before COVID like put a stop on it a little bit, and then I picked it back up. And I really enjoy personal training to give a person, like the attention to actually work on your goals, not on a goal of 20 people in the room. And I worked with a lot of women in my life, and then slowly more and more men came into my life too for personal training. Um, yeah, and then about a year ago, I felt the need of niching down a little bit. And my husband is very big in community building. So
Yes, he is.
I'm really picking that up from him. and I was looking at who can I really serve and the best of my ability, and who can I talk to the best. So I was thinking first, hey, maybe I should just cater to women because I'm very good with women and all. But then I was thinking, I'm a queer man. I have my experiences. Maybe I can pass this on to other queer identifying men. So this is why then I niched down about a year ago to focusing on queer identifying men who need help on their fitness journey, on their wellness journey, and overall holistic health.
Okay.
So that's my niche right now.
Now, when you were finding out this particular niche that's out there, has it been a challenge to get those type of clients
Yeah,
in the community?
yeah, I think it's a bridge, right? Because I still have my clients that I had prior to deciding of, going niche, right? So I still have a couple of straight men and a couple of females that I work with, and slowly just transition more and more into queer men. So most of my clients now are queer identifying men. However, as marketing and all is important. So I just learned how to market more and more to my niche. I'm also working with a business coach
Good.
to figure out the business side because I'm a dancer and I'm a fitness professional. I'm not a business person,
You
right?
are expertise in fitness and dance. You hire. This is the thing about being an entrepreneur and a self-employed. I've been in self-employed for over 20 years. One of my coaches when I was starting it is that I'm an expertise in insurance, okay, but I'm not an expertise in marketing. I'm not an expertise in internet branding or whatever. So I hire somebody to take over that responsibility, and I can focus on either the podcast or my insurance business. That's where a lot of people go wrong when they want to start a business. They want to do everything and everybody. I am not a professional photographer or videographer, so I hire Simeon to do that for me. He takes care of that and he provides me the product. And that's what you did. So you got a business coach and you're like, I need help with so and so and so and so because you just want to focus on your clients
Yeah, so I mean, right now I'm still doing everything myself. However,
because it does come at a cost.
yeah, but I have a business coach who's teaching me how to do, marketing, how to build a funnel, and like
Oh
how to talk to
yeah,
clients.
oh yeah,
Because I can chat with you all day long and it's fun, but how to have actually business conversations so we're leading to, hey, how
absolutely.
can I help you? And then, how can we work together?
So let's go back into why queer identifying men. Do you
Hmm.
feel that in that community there is a lack of, we all have our insecurities, whether, black woman being a white one, being a white man, whatever, it doesn't matter. We all have certain insecurities, but we look at ourselves in the mirror. Do we like what we see? Okay. And most of the time it's not what we see in the queer community. Let's be honest, it's a lot of it's based on looks and how you look, and very visual, appealing men or women. And so, is that the reason why it was part of your gas in terms of let me seek out people in my community because they lack the type of self awareness or self love because they feel that they don't fit in this particular community?
Yeah, I think it's for two reasons. A, because I'm queer myself, so I can talk to them, and I have my own trauma. I have my own, I got bullied as a kid
Oh, you
because I'm
really?
gay.
Oh.
And I didn't know back then that I was gay, right? You just get bullied, and you're like, I'm not gay, and you're like, oh, actually, I am. You maybe knew more than I am, but that's just what it is. And I have my own like body image issues. I think we all, no matter how you
You have
look,
your own body.
no matter how you look, right? Like we all like
Amazing.
sometimes we're like, oh, I want this more, or this less, or whatever, right? It
Hmm.
doesn't mean what I realize is, or really find for myself, and I'm really trying to tell my clients too. Your self love and your body image is two different things, right? I think
Mm.
sometimes it can be connected. It's like I'm not allowing myself loving myself
Mm.
because I feel like I don't look how I want
Right.
to look. But those are two pairs of shoes.
Well, Tunny, talk to me because as a big black girl, when I see myself in the mirror and the camera, I'm like, oh God. I notice sometimes when I'm looking at when Simmons edits, I seem to do this. I seem to want to hide this, the gut, the legs, whatever, because I'm very insecure about my body size. And the self-love, you're really true about that. Can you dive into that more? Because when we see each other on cameras, I'm looking at you like you look amazing,
Thank you.
gorgeous, man, you and Arnell. Or I'm looking at someone else, I'm like, wow, they look wonderful. But at the same time, they're not feeling that same way about themselves. Can you explain that more, please?
Yeah, and I want to say right back to you, when I look in camera, I look at you and think, oh my God, what a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
And, you know, like, so why I decided to work with queer men is because society tells a lot of different people, right? Like, depending on who you are, how you should look. For us queer men, oftentimes we see the pool parties and we see guys
That
in
part.
Speedos and six pack
That
and
part.
big arms and a chest, and you need to be like 5%
Tight
body
butt.
fat and stuff, right? Where the reality is, a lot of guys look like this, but even more guys don't look like that.
Correct.
And it's really not about how does society think you should look and this is what you should chase. It's like, who and how do you want to look like? What is important to you and how to get there? And again, not connecting your self-love with your body image. Because if you're so much more than your body, would you agree?
Hmm.
Right? Yeah. How is your character? How are your attributes? How do you treat people? How, you know, how do you show up in the world? How is your business? How are your is your personal life? All of this is just equal than you to your body, right? Your body is just like, okay, maybe, you know, I was born this way. Maybe I just enjoy food. Maybe I'm just lacking exercise, whatever it is, and that's totally fine. But it doesn't mean that you're not a loving person, that you're not a good person, that you're not a person who is fierce and a go-getter, a CEO, an entrepreneur, whatever, right? A loving wife, partner, whatever it is. So I think just trying to realize, and that's what I'm working with my clients, is we need to heal what's going on between our ears, that we love ourselves, our trauma, our shame, our, you know, anything that is going on, the little devil in our head. How can we, it will never go away,
No.
but how can we love
Suppress that.
ourselves and like say, you know, maybe listen to it and it's like, I hear you,
I
but
hear
I'm
you.
not going to engage with you because I know better.
Right there.
And then that is one part, right? Like the self-love part. And then another part of what I do with my clients is, yeah, let's look at what is your goal for your health, because again, it's not just the looks, it's also what does your blood work say, or
Mm.
how do you sleep, how stressed
Mm.
are you,
Mm.
you know. So we look into habits, we look into nutrition, we look into fitness. So I provide them with, you know, yes, a fitness routine that fits their lifestyle.
Okay.
We look into nutrition that fits your lifestyle, because I look into like, what do you eat? Let's make changes from what you already have, instead of like, let me give you this meal plan that you will never eat. You know, you may last a few weeks, you may even last a couple of
But it's
months,
not a lifestyle.
but you're not gonna eat this forever, right?
Right.
So like, how can we, with what you have right now, how can we make slow little changes that you can maintain long term to get to wherever you want to get to, if it's weight loss, if it's a six pack, if it's, you know, whatever, and work on your mindset, because even if you get that six pack, you're still not gonna love yourself.
Hmm. Do you do when you meet a client? Do you do the mindset training before you work out or after you work out? Do you do the pep talk during the workout, after the workout, in the middle of the workout? When you approach your client the first day, obviously you get all the data.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second visit, how do you make sure that client's comfortable with you? Because that's, if they're talking to you about some intimate stuff, some private stuff, some stuff that happened 20, 30 years ago that is still scarring them, being bullied or abused or whatever, how does that work in your program?
Yeah, very good question. And I always want to say I'm not a therapist. That's very important, not a qualified therapist, you know. And it depends, because I do two things, right? First, I always started with in person personal training, or over Zoom. You know, it's online, but over Zoom. So then I'm there physically for an hour helping you with your workouts. And then, of course, you chat, right? And it's really up to the client, how quick the client wants to open up and how comfortable the client is. Everyone is different. Some people share more than others. But I think just throughout working together, I get to know my clients, and then I know best is like, I'm not pushing any agenda in like, tell me your private stuff or so. You know, this is totally up to you, but I can help you to Like, for example, yesterday I worked with a client, and that client has a really hard time looking in the mirror and saying even one good thing
About himself.
about themselves. So I was like, all right, we're not going to keep going until you looked in the mirror and said one good thing about yourself, and not in a harsh way, but just like slowly unraveling, what's
It's hard to
going
look at
on.
yourself when you're also working out in the mirror. I mean, when you go to the gym, there's nothing but mirrors there, and I see why, because people want to see the technique. They want to make sure their technique's good, whatever. But looking at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, that's not the prettiest picture. You're huffing, puffing, you're sweating. Hair is messed up, and you're grunged out. And you're like, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to see myself in the mirror. Let me, and I've done that. I'm like, let me turn
Totally.
around and look the other way
Totally.
because I don't like what I see.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and this is where the moment comes where you maybe look and you're like, maybe I feel like I look like a hot mess, but I can still say, I'm badass, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So this is this, but what I mostly do now, I work online, meaning I have my own app. So I'm not standing next to you anymore, help you work out, or are we not on Zoom and I guide you through a workout. It's an app that I have, and so I can open up to anyone in the world who wants to work with
What's the
me.
name of the app?
It's my name, Ripped with Ripkins. So that's
Ripped
my
with Ripkins.
brand. Yeah,
Okay.
Ripkins my last name,
Gotta
and
make
then
sure we
Ripped
put that in there,
with
Mr.
Ripkins.
Simeon. Ripped with
Ripkins.
Ripkins.
Yes,
Okay,
I
that's the
know.
little tongue twister
I
there.
know it's a little bit. So yeah, and then I work with people. I create workout plans for them, nutrition. We talk about nutrition. We do your like habits, environmental stuff, and all through the app. They have access to me. We jump over Zoom to have conversations,
That's great.
weekly check-ins, and all of that kind of
That's
stuff. And
wonderful.
through this, there's a process on how to work your body and your nutrition, but also deal with
With your head,
with the
headspace.
mental stuff.
Do you love it?
Yes,
Are you passionate about it?
absolutely. And
What?
the more I dial down on my ideal client, meaning queer man, I love
Mm-hmm.
it even more because I feel like I'm stepping into my purpose, and my goal is to just build a community of like-minded people, so that we can support each other, because the world is really rough out there for everyone, I would say, especially for any minority, which is most people.
Marginalized people for
You
sure,
know,
especially what's
yeah.
going on in the world right now. I don't want to get political on this podcast. I really try not to, but there are things that are just affecting our world on an everyday situation right now that makes people concerned
Yeah.
about their livelihood. And Idaho has recently brought in a new initiative to overturn gay marriage. And there are already 6 states that are already on top of joining Idaho on this particular initiative, which is sad and it's unnecessary, in my opinion. I was brought up by Christian parents that love is only between a man and a woman. Now, obviously, growing up and being expressed or being exposed to different cultures and people, that, in my opinion, I don't think that is correct. I think love is expounding to everybody. Um, and being a gay ally and LGBT ally, I see the struggles that happen in the community. We were doing cartwheels when Ogilfell was overturned, and that was what
13.
2013.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's only been 11 years, right? With 13, 12 years,
Yeah.
of that. And you are in love with your husband. You want to spend the rest of your life with your husband. What would that be like for you and Arnell if all of a sudden they say that your marriage is illegal?
Yeah, that is a very loaded question, right? I think the most important, what I'm trying to focus on, is we're married no matter what, no matter if it's legally recognized by a party or not. Sure, it will come, if it will get overturned, it will come with a lot of complications and a lot of distress in our rights. Um, the love that we feel, the work that we're doing, the people we're supporting will not change. And it also means that we need to mobilize more and work harder together as a community to change that again, in the long term.
Right.
Also need to make sure that all our other things are in place, like a will and power of attorney and all the other things that we can
Yes,
influence, no
please.
matter if we're queer or not. that we put them into place.
Yes.
And this is a part of my work too, right? Like that's why I also choose to work with queer men, because I feel like we need a space where we can support each other when times get rough. We need everyone healthy. We need everyone healthy
You
mentally
need
and
a focus group.
physically,
Yes.
so that we can support each other.
Absolutely.
Because no matter if it gets overturned or not, it's already getting rougher and rougher and rougher, especially also for our trans community, which we need to support, because there is no queer community without the trans
Correct.
community. And it's just really sad to see. And it also kind of shows if laws or, like, say, a marriage right can get overturned quickly, like it may happen, it may not. But it seems like, we're on the path there. Then it really means like the queer community doesn't really have any rights, because
Right.
and this is for a lot of, with abortion rights for women, and like there's so many things where it's like,
It was
if
right. Everybody assumed that. Like once Roe v. Wade was overturned,
yeah,
they gave you we're next.
yeah, so
You know,
it just shows
and it's
that there
true.
is a flaw in the system. If you can overturn things so quickly, then we don't really have rights. On the
Right.
other hand, we're still here. Like, like you can take all our rights away. You're not going to change who we love.
Correct.
And we will keep
Preach.
showering everyone with
Preach.
love. We will still show up.
Preach.
And we'll still be colorful. We're still going to shake our booties. And we're still going to, give the world joy and love and dance and fun, right? Because that's what the world needs. Less hate, less destruction.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for saying
that's
that.
what we're here for.
Thank you for saying that.
And
we love
it
you.
also, it's not just the queer community. We
Yeah.
all need to
100%.
help each other,
100%. Going on a total left, in my notes, you said you were skydiving, or is that your goal to be skydiving, or that's just, and jujitsu? Like, what other goals or things that you want to dive into?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, this is an umbrella or like, there's an umbrella here where maybe right after our wedding, like a year and a half ago or so, I was ready to tackle things on my to-do list, because I don't know if you ever feel like it, but as a kid, you grow up, and in your 20s, you maybe have like those things. You're like, I want to do all those things in life. And, there will be things maybe that fall off or you still think of. And I feel like, okay, right now I'm 35. When it happened, it was like 33. I'm like, I'm in my prime of my life. If I don't do certain things now, life is just going to get more complex, more complicated. When else are we going to do it, right? Like my husband and I were looking into having a baby, so we're like figuring all of this out. And
This is news to me. Since when was this happening? What?
yeah, it's been happening. So like that costs a lot of money.
Well,
for
you already
queer
have a
men.
furry baby.
So we already have the best furry baby. Yes. And I hope all of you who have a fur baby feel the same, that your fur baby is
That's
the
your
best.
daughter right there.
Yes.
That's your first daughter.
Exactly. So I just feel like it's so easy to let life be busy,
Yes, it is.
and make excuses. If it's money, time, health, whatever it is. I personally chose to say that will always be there. It may even get more. Now it's the time to slowly tick things off my to-do list.
Correct.
Because, say, I went skydiving in November 2023. This was like the scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
I never.
Was terrified.
I could never and will never.
Yeah,
I'm
and
doing that.
it's something where like it terrified me for years, and that's why I did it, because I'm like, I didn't want that to have the power over me.
Yeah.
So I did, and I would do it again. It was so much
Simeon
fun.
is nodding his head because he just recently did it with your cousin?
My sister.
Your sister. And you feel the same way? You loved it. Scared to death?
I'm afraid of heights.
Me too. Yeah, he just said he's afraid of heights, and me too. And like,
You'll do it again.
and
Oh my goodness.
I think, I don't know what the levels were. It's like 10, 13, 18,000 feet or so up the ground, right? And you can choose. I'm like, I'm just going to go for the highest,
Oh,
because
Lord have
when I'm in the
mercy.
air, I don't know the difference.
My gut just dropped thinking
I know,
about
but
it.
like, I don't know if it's 10, 13, 18,000.
You sure
like,
don't
it's
know.
just freaking high.
Did you get the same choices too?
I went to the top.
You went to the top. You said, screw it. Let's just do the whole thing. You're
And
already up there.
yeah, and it's fairly expensive, right? I mean, for what it is, it's fairly cheap, but like it's still a few $100s or whatever, right? So it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do it again. Why don't I
Lord.
just climb up to the top and then at
Right.
least I can enjoy the
And
fall?
did you have a tandem? The guy had a
Oh,
tandem.
yeah, you're not allowed to do it,
Oh
but
yeah, you
can
can't
you
do it by yourself.
imagine?
No.
You're like, I've never done this. That would be crazy. No, of course, yeah. Of course, there's someone, and it's a crazy experience. And so there are just a lot of things on my list that I want to do.
Did Arnell do it too? Girl, right?
I didn't want to say that, but no. But like he does his own whatever is on his
Yeah.
to-do list. Like he recently done a TEDx talk, which is amazing, and
Amazing.
that is something he was scared of,
Yes.
and he did, and he like exceeded.
He did in
He's just so
front of
brilliant.
hundreds of people. And,
Yeah,
it's funny
and
that
it's on YouTube. Watch it.
yes, it's on
Arnell
YouTube. It's funny,
Calvario.
and I'll put that on the link. Remind me to do that, Mr. Simeon. Put the link on there. Um, for someone who's so extroverted and amazing speaker, I'm like, why was he so nervous? Because he's a teacher, he's a doctor, so he talks to people and strangers every day. But I guess because the topic of conversation would made him more nervous about it. You think?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of he would love to do a TED Talk at some point. So TEDx is the first step, right? And it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Like so. The responsibility that comes with doing that kind of talk, and when you listen to it, you see it's very, very personal, and he's never talked about himself in that kind of way. And then on such a big platform,
Yeah.
like it really, yeah, took a lot, and he's
I'm so proud of
very
him.
brave
Yeah.
in doing that, and I'm so proud of him
Yeah,
too. And
exactly.
it really like helped him to release and be fully himself, and
Exactly.
it's so awesome to see. And he's a daily inspiration for me to do what I do, because yeah, he's just brilliant.
Yeah. When you guys see their dance videos on Instagram, they're so cute. Married couple doing their little dance routines, workout routines, whatever. And it just inspires you like, oh, I want to have a relationship like that. I was actually, I don't know if you see you watch my stories, but, and we're going to get off the subject real quick and get it to our next segment. But what you see, thank you, Simi's all, yes, let's get going. Let's wrap it up, Shannon, wrap it up. Is that I want to go back to what you were saying about self-image and self-love. What you guys see on social media is sometimes a farce. It is not real. I complimented you and Arnell on your relationship and what it looks like. I don't know what really is behind the scenes, but what I can assume that's behind the scenes is that there is true love there. We want to go on social media, the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitters and the TikToks, and present ourselves that we're amazing, we're happy, we're doing these other things, and that's why a lot of people are attracted to social media because we want that escape as well, whether it's a visual, whether it's a vacation or a trip we're going on. But I just wanted to be real with you guys that people are struggling with a lot of things that most people do not want to talk about. And that's behind the scenes, behind the camera, what's really going on. And I spilled some tea on a few people who uh, related to me that their marriages are done because certain things that has happened. That's kind of tragic. But on the outside, they were giving us the story that they had the perfect marriage, that they had the perfect relationship. No, that was not the case. So I just wanted to my point is like let's focus on what Dustin says, the real person. The self-love is so important, not the fakeness. Yeah, we want to look like freaking Jason Momoa on the beach or, Beyonce and having that amazing body, but we don't know what's really going on in Beyonce's life. We really don't know what's going on in Jason Momoa's life. We only see what the camera shows us. It is important to work on ourselves and our well-being and our health and our mindset, our hearts and our souls, because that's what really attracts each other to each other, right? Can you agree?
Yeah, and I just want to say, talking about body image too, right? It's like I know it for myself. I'm most likely not going to post the first two or third picture that I took of myself, right?
We edit it.
So, like I try to be as real as possible, but still, right? Like there's an angle. You're like, no, I don't like.
Right.
Like we still present ourselves to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
So, if you're someone who's dealing with any body shame or body image issues or so, please don't use social media as a standard because things are edited, things are cut out, edited, colored, and all of this kind of stuff. Like use it as an inspiration if you want, but create an image that is realistic for you and that actually works for you instead of anyone else, because the truth is there's no one else like you out there. So why chase someone? Like, you will never look like me, and that's amazing, because I will never look like you either, because you're totally different, and that's the beauty of it. So just, figure out what is important to you and go and get after that.
Mr. Dustin, you just dropped some gems.
Oh,
You dropped some gems on this show.
thank you.
Thank you for that. We'll be
Absolutely.
right back.
Bon voyage.
Devin, you know me and my travels, right?
Oh, they're legendary.
And you know I always have to go first class.
First class.
So I am actually planning another trip to Mexico in a couple weeks, and I've been wearing the same wonderful resort wear over and over again. I really want something fresh and bright and just really makes me look good on the beach. Where should I go?
I do have one suggestion for you. You can go to shopdrea.com and they have all your resort wear needs. As a matter of fact, their motto is resort wear for everywhere, which does include yachts.
Okay, well, I definitely will be on there. Is it good for the curvy girlies?
Absolutely great for the curvy girlies. It sucks you in, as they say.
Oh my goodness. Picture me on the beach and just sipping on a cocktail and having this amazing kimono just on my body and relaxing.
Don't we all need to relax? But we also need to go out in the evening, too, after we've relaxed all day at the beach. So you can go from beach to brunch, just like that.
To dinner?
Yeah, just in the same outfit. Everybody go to shopdrea.com. That's shopdrea.com.
And it's also woman owned.
It is woman owned. We love that.
Well, I'm going to go right now. And you know what? Anyone who needs a great resort wear outfit, make sure you tell them Queen Shan Shan sent you at shopdrea.com. All right, so we are back, and you guys know this is a travel podcast, travel, food, beauty, and culture, right? And so Dustin is from Germany, and I went to Germany last year with my friends. It was a combination trip of Germany, Prague, and Austria. It was an awesome trip. It was last May. The weather, you couldn't ask for better weather. It was amazing. We stayed in Berlin for 3 nights. And you can't really do Berlin in 3 nights. You got to be there for a good while. But we were able to see the famous wall, a couple museums. We did a river cruise in the city, which was really nice. Fantastic food. And my friend Tasha, she loves, every day she was having schnitzel. She loves schnitzel. Oh my God, schnitzel this, schnitzel this, schnitzel that. And then Tasha, on the way, because we were meeting another group of people to Prague, she found this, I don't know if it was on Viator or some sort of tour thing, where a private car takes you on a day trip from Berlin all the way to Prague. So it took us about 9 hours. It was really nice. It was like our own Uber girl. She was awesome. It was in a little station wagon, and she fed our luggage. So we spent the day in Dresden, stayed there for lunch, and walked around in Dresden. Gorgeous city, and had lunch there. Then on the road, we went to another castle. Had a little pit stop there. Then we went to the famous Dustin. It's a famous park there that's about the four fingers as four finger rock formations. Oh,
In Prague or in Germany?
I think it was still in Germany. I don't know. It was gorgeous. I gotta look at the pictures. I gotta send it to Simeon. You guys will see the pictures. But it was like a 9 hour road trip all the way to Prague, and it was such a great idea. So we got to see another side of the beautiful landscapes, the scenic route, and everything in Germany. So you're from Germany. What
Yes.
is your favorite place to visit for people who want to go to Germany in this year, the coming years for tourism? What is your favorite part about Germany?
Yeah, I think overall Germany is a really, really fun country because you get so much, right? So I'm from Western Germany, which is more the industrial part, and then the
Okay.
south is more what I would say is more naturey, with the hills and the lakes and the Black Forest, and it's beautiful. And then there are a lot of castles. So you definitely, if you ever go to Germany, you maybe want to go to south to Heidelberg, which is a beautiful city with a castle and just very old school German. And then, there's East Germany, very cultural, like Berlin, Dresden, and all. And then there's the north, which is where the sea is.
Okay.
So you get a lot within Germany. I'm from the industrial part, so I'm near Cologne, which has a ginormous cathedral. If you're into that, it's a really cool city. It's very open-minded, very cultural. A lot of shopping if you like shopping, a lot of good food, but also partying, museums, and you're right at the river too. So you could do a river cruise there as well, which is awesome. But I also know a lot of people say, Germans and the beer. So there's another city not too far from Cologne, like 20, 30 minutes away, called Düsseldorf. And
Düsseldorf, yes.
yes, and so the famous saying is that Düsseldorf has the longest bar in the world, which basically just means there's so many pubs next to each other that serve German beer in downtown Düsseldorf. So that's what it's famous
The
for. It's
longest
like
bar
the
because it's
longest bar.
constantly a bar,
Yeah.
a restaurant, a pub,
Yes.
all over the town.
Exactly. You can just get, like have a good time there and get German beer.
What is a place to visit that's off the cuff that's not so touristy to visit in Germany?
I mean, Heidelberg is still very touristy in some sense, but I would say more by locals and Europeans, less Americans, because it's more south, it's not close to Bavaria or Munich, and it's like a small little city. So it's not something that a lot of people
Know about?
do. And what I think a lot of, again, just say Americans or overall overseas people do is like a whole river cruise all the way through Germany, because it requires a week or so, right?
Oh,
And
would
a
love
lot of
that.
times
Would love
people
that.
go 2 days in Spain, 2 days in France,
Right.
2 days in Germany, right? So it just depends on how much time
So you
have.
could do a river cruise that's just all of Germany. What's the main river in Germany that goes in Germany? What's it called?
The Rhine.
The Rhine.
So you could
Okay.
go all the way from the Netherlands through Germany and
Ooh,
further
that's
south.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Do you plan on going anytime soon to see
In
family?
April.
You're
Yeah.
going back in April.
I'm going. Yeah, I go twice a year
Okay.
to see families.
Okay,
I'm going back in
wonderful.
April. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank
Well,
you.
there's your tip on some Germany tourism if you guys want to go there. And obviously, contact Mr. Dustin for some tips.
Yes, definitely
Absolutely.
highly recommend going.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Dag nabbit. Shannon, I just opened my insurance bill, and do you know what? That it went up 60% from last month.
I can hear it and I understand it.
Well, this kid, he rear-ended us as we were coming out of the driveway, and that's our fault, evidently 60% and 40% his.
You know what, Devin? It's been happening a lot these last 2 years, and insurance is out of control. But you know where you can go?
Where?
SD Langhorne Insurance Services, aka Shannon Shore, and they will shop for you. They actually will answer your call too. So why don't you go on their website, shannonshore.com, look at the wonderful services they offer. They offer auto insurance, renter's insurance, life insurance, disability, business insurance, health insurance as well, and they will shop for you.
I bet they will. They sound great.
Contact them today, look at their website, shannonshore.com, and make sure you tell them Queen Shan sent you. Okay, so because you are this guru, this fitness guru, girl, we are human beings. We work every day, and there are times where I just want to lay in this bed. I just want to lay in my cover, especially in this wintertime when it's so cold in the morning and I'm shivering and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to work out this morning. I just want to stay in bed. And then Shannon starts to talk bad about herself. So that's the thing, My therapist is like, stop, we have to talk more kindly about each other. And I just don't talk the best about myself. That's me, and that's something that I got to work with. That's another memory muscle, right? That being said, I'm in my bed, Dustin. How do I stop talking about myself that way? And how do I start moving for at least 5 to 6 minutes to get the blood pumping to start my day? Because I'm all about my juices and my protein snacks, my vitamins, but I'm missing that quick morning workout. What do you recommend just to get going in the morning?
Absolutely. I think the first tip you're really not going to like, but
Okay.
I'm going to share anyways. Because the first thing is you need to get out of bed, right?
We gotta get out of
So, because it's easy to snooze, to lay, to let this take over, right? So,
Yes.
my question is, do you use your phone as an alarm?
No, I use my body. I actually use my freaking neighbor. My neighbor upstairs has a dog, and that dog gets up in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. And because I'm a light sleeper, I
Yep.
hear everything.
Okay.
So that's my natural alarm clock. I get up, but now my body is used to getting up at 6:30.
Okay. Well, let's say you have an alarm, and
Yeah.
maybe you need an alarm too. If you know, okay, I wake up at like 6:15 or so every time. Maybe set an alarm for 6:10 or so. But set an alarm if you want to use your phone, and then put it into the other room.
Okay.
If you
I
keep
don't
your
sleep with my phone in the room.
yeah, so put it wherever so you can still hear it, but you need to get out of bed to switch off that alarm.
So it's rocking.
So because we know
Smart.
how annoying the alarm can get, right?
100%.
So set the alarm, put it in a different room, and then you have to get out of bed to
Instead of pushing
then
the snooze button.
yeah to switch the alarm off. So that's number one.
Great
You,
idea.
I do it. I hate it, but it works. Then like if you're someone who needs visuals or so, like I don't mind going on the carpet doing an exercise, right? But if you're like, no, I need a mat, then wherever that alarm is, you put your mat out. It's right there, right? The night before, you put the mat where the alarm is. So you're already stepping on the mat.
Now, what if you sleep naked?
I don't care. You can work out naked. I work out naked sometimes. I mean, it's up to you.
What? We need that on camera.
And if you don't want that, you put whatever you want to wear right in front of the alarm too. And you're like, alarm off, put the clothes on,
Right.
and the mat is right there, right? So, okay, so real quick, get an alarm. However you sleep, you can be in pajamas, you can be naked. If you want to change right there.
Good
Because,
idea.
it's just you or, partner or whatever, but the partner doesn't care. And then just do very simple things, right? So I would start first with a couple of breaths, right? Like just deep in and exhales to wake your body up.
Yeah, good idea.
If you're really doubting yourself if you should do it, a really good thing is counting backwards. Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I listen to Mel Robbins too.
Yes.
She
So,
does say that.
yes, so she built a whole
5, 4, 3,
business
2,
about the
1.
5-second rules.
Yes.
We could spend another hour on it. But basically, switch the alarm off, get ready however you need to get ready. Most likely just start. If you're like, okay, I want to go back to bed, then you're like, Queen Shan Shan, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Breathe. Right? Few breaths, deep breaths, so you can activate the body. And then start very simple, depending on how you feel. You may need some hip openers, mobilization. Or you may feel like good and you just go, hey, I just do some 10 body squats, very simple. Activate the body. I'm going into 10 lunges, activate the body. It doesn't have to be brain surgery or anything complicated, right? And then depending on what feels good to you, you could worm down or you can slowly find your way onto the floor and then go into a cobra stretch and a down dog a few times just to wake up the body. And that might be like, okay, that's all I need to do for today. Cool. It wasn't a workout, but we did some squats and stuff, but it was just like, hey, I'm activating my body, right? And then if you feel like I want a little bit more, you can go into some push-ups, no matter if it's on your knees or
Why
long.
are push-ups always the go-to with you guys? Y'all love some push-ups.
I
All
know.
the fitness people look. Simeon, why are the push-ups, dude? What's up with the
You
push-ups?
know, and it's funny. I just talked to my client the other day too because I feel like all my clients are like push-ups, and
I
I'm
hate
like, I love
push-ups.
push-ups because they just activate the whole upper body. It's so great. It's an easy exercise that activates the whole body.
Do you agree, Simeon?
I do. Anything that keeps me independent, I will do.
That keeps you independent?
If I fall at an older age, I want to be able to get up.
Yeah, so he said, in case you didn't hear, anything that keeps him independent, he likes. So if you fall, you can catch yourself, right?
True.
So I would do a round of push-ups, however, maybe 1, maybe 10, maybe 20, depending on what level you're at. Then I would breathe for a second, and then I would go into a plank. Again, you can change it up, high plank or low plank, because it activates the whole body.
Oh, okay.
And with that being said, even if you just do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 1 to 20 push-ups wherever you are, and then some planking 20 seconds to a minute, depending on your level, you will already feel way different.
I'm just rolling my eyes in my head right now when
I
you
know.
said that. Just want to.
But, it does take commitment and determination.
It does.
Yes, but
it does.
you will feel so much better, and it really takes 5 minutes. So
does,
you have
it
the
does.
choice. Do I lay in bed, debating if I want to get up? That oftentimes takes longer than 5 minutes.
It does. I mean, I'm in that bed, in my comfortable bed. I'm dealing with sciatica issues. I've been dealing with sciatica for the last 2-3 years, really bad sciatica. And my right knee pain is just horrible. And with this weather, because it's cold right now, it just really agitates the inflammation. So that's part of the reason why I don't want to work out in the morning, because I'm in pain. Like
Yeah.
when I'm sitting in bed for 8 hours, your muscles contract. So what suggestions you do for those like me with sciatica issues and knee pain in the morning? It just simple stretches?
Yeah, you can do either simple stretches or again, you went out of bed, right, to get to your phone.
Right.
So I would just do very simple things, just like walking, because oftentimes you just need to walk it out to activate the bloodstream and, get the joints going, and then focus on rolling through your feet to activate the feet more, and then just do some open like hip openers, just like any movements that just gets your body
Okay.
going. It doesn't have to be a I'm out of breath cardio. It's just like, hey, like I just walk on the spot. I do some shoulder circles while I'm doing this. I'm activating my upper body. I'm working through my feet. Maybe I'm moving a little side to side. Just anything that feels good to activate. If you just do stretches, that's great too. But because you just woke up, right, you want to get the body activated. A
Correct.
stretch is more to maybe release tension, to lengthening your muscles and to get more limber, but not necessarily to activate the body in that
Okay.
sense.
Okay. And it takes 5 or 10 minutes, and that's it,
Yeah,
just for the start.
yeah,
Thank you for
absolutely.
that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back. Okay, we are back and we had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for being here, Dustin. I mean, you really opened our eyes to a lot of new ways to approach life and how we can look at ourselves and view ourselves and love ourselves. What's a final message you want to say to our broads here on the show?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier a little bit, but really disconnecting how your body image is and your self worth and your self love. Those are two different pairs of shoes. So start doing the inner work if you feel like you're struggling with self love to love your body, to love yourself, and then separate from that, start loving your body, however that looks like for you. Just be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself. There's so much happening in the world. Anxiety is high, stress is high. So just take a breath and my program is called Priority Me. And not because it's Priority Me, Dustin, but Priority You, because I think we all need to prioritize our health
Mm-hmm.
and our self overall a little bit more so we can fill up our cup so we can fill into others. If our cup is empty, we can't fill into others anymore.
Work.
So that's why I
Work.
call my program Priority Me, my fitness solution. So it's really just fill up your cup, take even if it's just 10 minutes a day for yourself to work on whatever you want to work on that makes you happy and that moves the needle a little bit. Everyone says like 1% better a day. So get that 1% better every single day in your love to yourself or your fitness or whatever it is. And I think it will make a big
Because then it
difference.
gets to 20 minutes a day, then get to half an hour a day, then you get to 40 minutes a day because you're loving yourself and you feel more comfortable about yourself. That's the thing about me and the junk journaling I'm on. It took me a long time to write because it's a mirror. And now I've been junk journaling with visuals and stickers and other visual aids to help me express what I'm feeling because I'm very anxious when I get home from a long day at work. And my mind, it's hard to shut off my mind. And so junk journaling is helping with that, but it also helps me love myself. And I like to be by myself more than I used to because I
Hmm.
always wanted to be surrounded by people. So it is about that expression of love. We have to love ourselves. And it's really hard for me to say that, but I'm beginning to like myself.
Nice.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
It is
You have
awesome.
no reason not to.
Oh, thank you. You're going to make me start crying. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Tell the
you.
broads how we can reach you. How can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the easiest is just on Instagram. It's just my name, Dustin Ripkens. From there, you will, you can DM me. You will find my website, which is Ripped with Ripkens. Also on Facebook. I started to be on, what's it called, Blue Sky. I
Blue
haven't,
Sky, yeah.
I signed up, but I haven't really like
It's
figured
a
out,
friendlier version of
but
Twitter,
yeah.
supposedly. Yeah.
So, but it's basically just my name, Dustin Ripkens. So
Are you on TikTok?
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Oh, sorry, TikTok. I'm on TikTok, but I'm not really using it.
Okay.
For a second, I was thinking of Twitter.
No,
But
Twitter, no.
but TikTok, I mean, I have an account, but it's not worth checking out.
Hey, TikTok is on the cusp, honey. They a lot of following, but
Yes.
follow his social media. Tell him that you saw him on a broadcast podcast with him and Queen Shan Shan. Thank you again for your time. We really appreciate that. Welcome to the Broad family.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching as well. All of my social media you'll see down below and in the credits as well if you have any questions. If you would like to be a guest on the show, let me know. If you'd like to be a sponsor as well, we're always welcoming new sponsors to the show. So email me at abroadproductions@gmail.com. In the meantime, thank you again, Dustin.
Thank
and
you.
thank you guys for always watching Abroad.